Us is the new film directed, written, and produced by Jordan Peele, and it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Shahadi Wright Joseph, and Evan Alex as a family who is stalked by their doppelgangers. And as far as the rest of the movie, fuck if I know. One of the main strengths of this movie is that there's so much to think about, to discuss, and to analyze. It's going to end up being very rewatchable just because there's so much to consider when thinking about this movie. On a surface level, yes, it is very high concept, very straightforward. There's this family, they have these doppelgangers that are chasing after them and want to kill them. But it's more when you're trying to figure out what's going on beneath the surface, trying to figure out what Jordan Peele's intent is. And I hope I never really find out or get a definitive answer, because there's so many interesting ways to read this film. It has a lot to say about us being our own worst enemies. It has a lot to say about the state of the United States as a country right now. And it has a lot of other things going on, but I don't really want to go too deep into it, because I think the fun part about this movie is that everyone's going to have a different kind of read on it. And I think it's best you just go in cold and try to figure out what you see in it. Jordan Peele's direction here is superb. He continues to elevate the genre he's working in by bringing a more indie sensibility to these more mainstream horror movies. Even though this is a movie that doesn't have the exact same kind of huge budget that a mainstream event film will have, it's an event just because of the fact that Jordan Peele is directing it. Get Out hit on such a massive level that whatever movie he puts his name on is going to print massive amounts of money. And Jordan Peele deserves this kind of reputation. His films deserve the kind of fanfare that they receive. They're unlike anything that I've ever seen. He's getting these more independent horror styles into more mainstream movies, and I really appreciate it. What I love about genre films, especially horror and action movies, is that it gives the director license to play around with film form in any way that they possibly can to heighten the visceral effect that a film can have. Lighting, color, the way he uses the frame, camera movement, sound, music, all of it is used to its full effect. The lighting is probably what struck me the most. I was consistently taken aback by it. The way it uses shadow, the way it emphasizes certain things within a scene, and the way it emphasizes certain colors is really effective. Overall, it's a gorgeous movie. There's a lot of imagery that really blew me away. On a structural level, it's absolutely brilliant. Jordan Peele uses the same kind of strategy that he used in Get Out, where he is just slowly building a tower, brick by brick, showing you every detail and showing you everything that's going into it, so that he can gleefully send it crashing down on you. There is not a wasted moment in this movie. Everything that is set up is used to its full effect once shit hits the fan. And boy, does the shit hit the fan in this one. One of the things I really love seeing about Jordan Peele progressing from Get Out to Us is that in real time you see him building up his style and creating his own film language. It is an absolute gift to see the work that he's doing. He is one of the most interesting, unique, and exciting filmmakers coming up right now, and I cannot wait to see what else he has in store for us. The performances in this movie are bananas. Not only do they have to play their characters, they have to play the doppelgangers. Each actor did a great job of making each version of themselves feel distinctively different, while also still making them feel similar enough to believe that they are just a different version of the same person. Lupita Nyong'o specifically knocked this shit out of the park. There are so many moments in this movie where she absolutely floored me. I can't go too much into detail about why I love this performance so much, but I can already tell that it's going to be one of the best of the year. It's one of the better performances I've ever seen in a horror movie. She is an absolute revelation in this thing. Winston Duke is having a blast playing the incredibly dorky dad of the family. We got that small taste of him in Black Panther and Infinity War, and I'm so glad he's starting to get bigger roles because he is such an incredibly charismatic presence. What's most impressive is that in these scenes when these characters and their doppelgangers are interacting, they're acting to no one. They're acting to nothing. Or at least in one of the takes, they're acting to nothing. But you still feel the weight of each person within a scene, and the connections and interactions that they have with each other is really tense. The movie is also pretty funny. It has the same kind of mix of horror and comedy that Get Out did. As far as the actual horror, that's maybe the one thing that didn't totally knock me out of my seat. It's not the most horrifying movie there is out there, but there is stuff in here that's going to haunt you. There's some really haunting imagery. And like I said before, the performances are really going to stick with you, especially Lupita Nyong'o's. There are also one or two music cues that didn't really work for me and took away from some of the tension of one scene in particular. It's also maybe not as cohesive as something like Get Out, but I think this movie is going for something much different. I think it's favoring theme and symbolism and imagery as opposed to a story. I wouldn't say that that's a complaint. Honestly, I think that that's going to help the movie on repeat viewings, which is something I'm definitely going to be doing with this movie. My main point is that it's different from Get Out. I won't say which one I think is better. I think that's for you to decide. But I just want to tell you that it's a different kind of object. And I think the fact that Jordan Peele can make movies this different from each other is a good sign. Like I said, I think he's an incredibly interesting filmmaker. And to see him do something different from the last movie he made is an encouraging thing. Us is an incredible sophomore effort from Jordan Peele. He continues to have that bold, confident, strong directorial voice that he had in Get Out. Right now, if you ask me, he is the filmmaker to watch. He's gaining momentum on what looks like to be a very promising career. I give Us a 5 out of 5. If you ask me, this is going to be one of the best movies you'll see all year. Rush out to see it as soon as possible. Not just because it's great, but because these are the kind of weird, bold movies that we need to be supporting right now. Jordan Peele is also the kind of director we need to be supporting. We need to get as many diverse voices telling their own unique stories as we possibly can. And supporting a movie like this is going to help to get us there. It's definitely a movie that I'm going to be thinking about a lot. I'm probably going to do a second review of it after I see it a second time, get some kind of spoiler review out there, just because I think this is a very interesting movie to talk about. It's one of the movies I'm definitely most excited to discuss with people over the next year. So what did you guys think of Us? Is it the exact kind of movie you wanted as the follow-up to Jordan Peele's Get Out? Or did it maybe let you down in certain areas? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my Twitter and Instagram accounts, which I will have links for down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.